What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. Welcome here for Throwback Thursday. This is a retro review of Falcon Crest Season 3, Episode 11. So, are we on Season 3 or Season 2? We on Season 3. We making our way downtown. Yeah, we on Season 3. So, we start this episode off. Michael is letting Chase and Maggie know that the guy was killed from, I keep saying the agency, but that's not the name of it. What are they called? But anyway, basically the mob child. Over to Richard's house. And they were trying to figure out who would want to kill my mother's lawyer, because of course they don't know the secret connection. They just know that that's her mother's lawyer. And why was he at Richard's house, and why he ended up dead? Now, we know why he ended up dead. And we know what's going on at Richard's house and why he was there. But they don't know. And they trying to connect these dots. You know, Chase always trying to be a detective and trying to connect some dots. So then, over to Falcon Crest, Angela is talking to Philip about getting Dr. Landry out of the country. And Philip was like, well, we still waiting on that, passport. And he's getting a little antsy. I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to keep him down to that motel. Well, Lance overhears the conversation, and he's like, what's that about Dr. Landry? And he gets mad at Angela because he was like, you know what, you had me set him up, and then you kept me in the dark. Like, you had me go down there and get the pills and do all of that. He almost killed my child, and then you kept me in the dark with everything else that was going on. And Angela was like, listen, just do what I tell you to do, and don't you worry about the rest, okay? I done told you before, this grown folk business, and you don't need to be a part of it. It ain't your business. So, of course, Lance feels some kind of way about it. Now, Chase and Maggie are still trying to connect these dots and figure out why these people keep ending up dead, because, again, they can't. But here comes Terry, slinking down in a nightgown. Listen, Terry is bad news, and I think I remember some things that go on with Terry, but I don't want to speak on it because, one, I'm not sure I'm right, and two, I want to be surprised and watch it like I'm watching it with y'all. But I think I remember some stuff with Terry, and Terry is bad news, y'all. This is just the tip of the iceberg, what we see her doing now. Because in this episode, child, she go to play tennis with Lance, and they end up having sex in the steam room while she was supposed to have a date with Michael, and she done stood Michael up. And then she gonna come back later, come back around to Michael, and Michael was like, I told you, Terry, I'm not playing these games with you. I don't like being stood up. That's real disrespectful. And she was like, oh my goodness, well, let me make it up to you. I'm so sorry, Michael. And then she's, because she tried to pretend like we had a date. Oh, I don't remember. Well, sir, ma'am, you made the date, Michael said. Michael said the date was your idea. That Terry is dirty. She bad news. She bad news, okay? And she got Lance's nose wide open. And Lance, when he get his nose wide open, that ain't a good thing, child. Now, down to the motel, Dr. Landry is there talking to Philip. He's telling Philip, I'm ready to go. I can't be here much longer. I can't do this. You need to do what you said you're going to do, and you need to do it fast. Like, and Philip is like, look, just chill out. I got you, okay? Don't worry about it. I got you. Well, come to find out, Lance done followed Philip down to the hotel. Now, of course, Philip already told Angela, listen, I don't know how much longer we're going to be able to keep him on ice. He's ready to flip. He's ready to tell it all. And, y'all could at least put him in a nice hotel. Like, I understand that people are looking for him, but y'all really do have him down at the motel. But anyway, so Lance followed Philip down there. So now Lance, of course, has this little bit of ammunition on his grandmother and knows where Dr. Landry is. Now, what he's going to do with it, you might be surprised to find out. He takes it to Chase. And he basically tells Chase, listen, I know how, if you're looking for Landry, I know where Landry is. And, I can give you this little bit of information. And he was really trying to, like, hold it over Lance's head. I mean, over Chase's head until Chase kind of, gut punched him and told him, bruh, like, you might think you got it all figured out, but just know that I'm still older and smarter than you. Tell me the information. Don't play games with me. Give me the information. So he gives Chase the information. And we'll talk about what he do with that later, child. because Lance got in his feelings, and you know he went to his grandmother and he tried to confront her and was like, "You always making me do stuff I don't want to do. You made me marry Melissa and I didn't want to marry her." He was blaming her for the reason why Julia was in jail, which it kind of is your fault. Angela, you did a piss poor job of raising Julia. I mean, if you would just let her go marry the man she wanted to be with and go live her life, however that life looked, child, she wouldn't be in jail now. Now, she'd be with Lance's father somewhere doing whatever it is that they was going to do, but she wouldn't be in jail. But that's another conversation. Let's talk about the jail since we there. Child, Julia is still in jail. They done let her little friend out of solitary confinement, and of course she all beat up. And Julia mad about it. And first she tell the guard to leave her alone, right? Then later on in the episode, we see her in the cafeteria. And she try and the people are giving her a hard time. You know, she still can't get in good with these girls. And they giving her a hard time, basically telling her that they about to get her. About to get her. And she goes running to her little friend again. And her friend was beat up again. And she was like, listen, I done told you, leave me alone. Stop talking to me. Every time they see me talking to you, they beat me up. And I don't want to do it no more. She said, but the only thing that makes me feel good is knowing that you about to be next. I said, damn. So then the guard comes up to Julia again and was like, you look like you having a bad day. Julia was like, yeah, let me get some of that. Let me get some of them pills. So I said, they just reeling Julia in, and she gonna be strung out in a minute, child. Y'all know how they setting her up. Now back up to Falcon Crest. Angela finally realizes that damn contract that she had Melissa signed to give over all her crops to Angela, she finally realizes that the contract is gone. And Angela tells Philip, go on and give me another copy. And Philip was like, you had the only copy. What you talking about? This before the days of electronic copies and all that stuff. So she says, okay, well, fine. Write up another one, and I'll just get Melissa to sign it. So Philip lets Melissa know, yo, she done found out that the contract is missing. What you gonna do about it? And Melissa was like, oh, you mean she found out you stole it? And he was like, that's neither here nor there. What you gonna do? Because now, you know, you gotta make a decision. So Melissa played dumb. When it was time for her to sign, you know, Angela was like, I got another contract for you to sign, Melissa. Melissa was like, what you talking about? She said, you remember the contract that you signed for me? Melissa was like, I don't remember signing no contract. I don't know what you're talking about. And Angela really knew she was being set up. But see, she thinks Melissa stole the contract. She don't think it's Philip yet. She thinks it's Melissa. So Melissa was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have a deal with Richard. Like I have a whole situation with Richard, and that's who I'm going to sell my crops to. So now Angela's feeling some kind of way, and that's what she told Lance. You better go on and talk to your wife and get her in line. Like, stop playing these games with me. I need this contract signed. Like, I don't have time for these games. Okay, Melissa, Lance, go get your woman. Go get her. Now Richard is still trying to get this whole racetrack thing going on, right? This casino racetrack situation, and he's trying to bribe the people that are over the gaming commission to give him permission to build the casino, the racetrack. And he's got Philip trying to help him, you know, get these people in his pocket. He also has Ms. Lynch, aka his secretary, aka his future lover, setting up meetings. He's gonna go down to San Diego and meet with one of the guys, you know. And he actually ends up setting that guy up with they have a prostitute pose as his assistant, and the prostitute ends up sleeping with him. Now I don't know if he a married man or not, but baby, they take pictures and everything that they're gonna use against him to get him to sign off on the racetrack. But Michael comes through there to talk to Richard about why his mother's attorney was killed. Like, what could he possibly have? Why could he? You know, why was he at your house? What could possibly be going on? And Philip is there, and Philip is like, "Yo, Michael don't need to know that I'm cool with you. He don't need to know." And Richard was like, "Nah, you need to stay here, cause I need him to know that you here." Of course, Richard is basically just setting him up, child. Richard is setting him up. Now, Chasen got this information from Lance about where Dr. Landry is. And y'all know what Chase did. Chase ran straight to the police and told the police where Landry was. So the police go down there. Landry sees the police. He goes running. He takes off running. So now they're right back where they started, trying to figure out where Landry is. So they end up talking to the pharmacist, the pharmacist that was in cahoots with Landry. And they were like, listen, we need to find Landry. Like, basically, you need to help us, because maybe your cooperation will go a long way. Because for real, Landry's the person we want. Like, we know you in cahoots with him. And he was like, well, you need to help me out. Like, is the DA going to make a deal or what? And they were like, well, we could talk to the DA about possibly making a deal. But in the meantime, you still need to let us know where he is. So he said, listen, Landry is a junkie, okay? Landry is strung out on drugs, on heroin, morphine, whatever. And at the end of the day, he gonna need his drugs. So wherever he is, he said, but he does have a cabin up in the woods, and that might be where he is. So Lance tries to get the police to put out a search warrant to go find him, but the sheriff is nowhere to be found, and his deputies won't move on it until they get word from the sheriff. And so, Chase and his son, the boy, they end up going up to the cabin by themselves, right? They find Landry there, but Landry was getting ready to shoot up when they got there. So they end up scuffling. They end up running back and forth. He hits Lance. He hits Chase, knocks Chase down, and then Cole, that's his name. And then Cole jumps on him, and they subdue him. And then Cole goes to go get the car. Now, mind you, he don't have no handcuffs. He not sitting on him. He not holding him down. They just talking like they having a leisurely conversation. Like, hey, how you doing? I don't know how you doing. So the guy ends up pushing Chase down, running back in the house, and ODing on the damn drugs. And he ends up telling Chase, listen, there was enough drugs in that syringe to kill a horse. And he says, listen, he tells them that Angela made him do it, that Angela wanted Chase to be incapacitated so he couldn't take over Falcon Crest, that Angela made him sign the affidavit. But then, of course, he dies. So they weren't able to get any proof. They weren't able to get any confirmation because he dies. I said, ooh, y'all getting on my nerves. Anyway, that's the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.